The Commission of Inquiry will restart tomorrow. It was halted when national lockdown regulations came into effect to stop the spread of COVID-19. Despite not holding public hearings for the past 2 months, Deputy Chief Justice Levy Ndou said that he and the Commission's team were able to work behind the scenes. The Commission was extended to complete its work by the 31st of March 2021. With tight deadlines ahead, political analyst Levy Ndou unpacks what we can expect when the hearings resume. Levi, thank you so much for joining us on Weekend Dawn. The main thing I'd like to know is what sort of work related to the Commission was underway behind the scenes or during the lockdown?
Good morning, Jacob. Good morning to the viewers at home. Obviously, like a lot of service providers that are essential, the Commission had to do a lot of work. And firstly, they had to look at the number of reports and submissions that have been made to them, and obviously try to make sense of what they actually have in front of them. But another aspect will be also to determine whether there are certain areas that will require some details and follow-ups, and then they had to identify those and then set some time and space aside in order for them to be able to make those follow-ups. Another area that one expects the Commission to be doing is to try and streamline the whole work in order to be able to meet the deadlines and also at the same time being sensitive to the state pass. So obviously they will have to try to say, these are important aspects that we need to look at, these are less important aspects, and then they try to streamline, because obviously they know that all the citizens of South Africa are actually waiting and anxiously waiting to get the finality of the Commission.
Levi, let's look at the key highlights of the Commission before lockdown. What were the pressing issues that came out just before the Commission was halted?
I think a number of things came out before the lockdown. Each time the Commission sit down, you'd actually get mind-boggling information, and you'll actually be surprised at all times. For me, I looked at the information that was provided by Advocate Rungwako Ramatlhodi in relation to how he was actually approached in order to participate in the activities that they are mostly referred to as the state capture activities. And it is in that commission that a number of high-ranking politicians within the ruling party were actually identified as having been active participants in the activities of the Commission. Each time you hear of the Commission, what comes to your mind would be the name of former Minister Nomvula Mugwenyane. You would also recall of Siyabonga Cwele and Malusi Gigaba, the information that came from the former COO of the SABC, Mr. Mutreneng, and obviously the confessions that were made by the likes of Mbalula to say that indeed we were approached and we got the information, very classified information, that is supposed to come from the head of state, coming from the Gupta family. But who else will recall the drama that actually unfolded at the Commission, especially when former President Zuma was appearing in the Commission? The details that he provided when he spoke about the plan by some people within the party to destroy his political career and actually put him in a situation where he must be seen as a very, very bad person. But more importantly, it's when now President Zuma started indicating that there are a number of details that he does not remember. And for me, those were some of the most important highlights of this commission.
Now, on the back of that response, what can we expect in terms of Monday when the commission kicks off again? I mean, the likes of Popo Molefe, of course, you mentioned Jacob Zuma, the Guptas. Is there any possibility that we'll see the likes of the Guptas coming on the stand?
Well, apparently there seem to be some goings forth and back in terms of the appearance of the Guptas in the commission. But I think it's very important that because most of the things center around the Gupta brothers, it will be quite important to get the side of the story on the part of the Guptas. But another important aspect as well will be, apart from looking at the Guptas, will be to look and to hear what is the response of those that have been implicated by some people in relation to the State Capture Commission. Remember, Agrisi brought a lot of information that implicated a number of people. And it will be quite interesting to hear what these people's response will be in relation to what Agrisi has actually said. But another most important aspect, Jacob, would be to get the details on the activities that were taking place, especially in the SOEs. Remember what has happened at ESCOM, what was going on at Transnet and the SAA. There is always the name of the Guptas coming in, and it will be quite interesting to get to know what are those activities that they were involved in.
Let's chat about prosecutions now. How does evidence from the commission further assist in the prosecution process? Because I feel like a lot is happening when it comes to the Zondo Commission of Inquiry, but the follow-ups that come afterwards, especially when it comes to prosecutions, seem to be a bit slow.
Yes, indeed. My view is that even though we would love to see some people being prosecuted, and some institutions taking actions against those people. I think most people are following on what the Deputy Chief Justice has actually requested us to do. He said it's important for everybody to give us space to do the work, and then at the later stage, then people will then get our recommendations and act upon them. Now remember, a number of names have been mentioned, and some of these people have not been given an opportunity, or they haven't gone to the commission to state their side of the story. And I think that's one thing that complicates the whole thing. But another aspect is that, remember, all the activities that were happening that involved corruption, which are criminal, those involved had to be very, very careful in order to ensure that they cover their tracks. And indeed, the law enforcement agencies might find it quite difficult to dig up this information.
And then the costs associated and taxpayers forking out additional amounts of money. How much money is actually being spent on this commission, and how much is the taxpayer actually paying?
Well, I wouldn't have the details, Jacob, but the commission is actually going to spend millions and millions and millions of rands. And remember, before the commission started, there were concerns from other sectors in government to say, we have spent a lot of money in the commissions, and including this one, we're still going to spend a lot of money. Look at the number of people that are coming into the commission. Look at the entire setup in the commission. But more importantly, the COVID-19 has actually made matters worse. The break that the commission took, and when they have to come back again, indeed, that is actually going to cost us a lot of money. It might sound to be too much, but if we are serious about the fight against crime and corruption, maybe we should go for it, and maybe it might actually bring an end to corrupt activities that have been going on within government circles.
Your highlights for tomorrow, what are you most looking forward to tomorrow when the commission kicks off?
Well, I expect the commission to lay out a program on how they're actually going to proceed going forward, because obviously there is a lot of work that they've been doing on the background. They'll actually come to our confident citizens to say, this is how we're actually going to proceed, taking into cognizance the issues of time and resources and the anxiety amongst the general population.
Levy Ndou, we'll leave it right there, political analyst. I, for one, am looking forward to the SOEs, as you mentioned earlier. What will come out there, especially when it comes to Eskom?